Hello everyone and welcome back to Is It Peak. Today we are discussing Season 6, Episode 11 of Better Call Saul. Today we are discussing Season 6, Episode 11 of Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad. I'm your host Marcus, and joining me for this episode is the number one Jeff fan, again, Johnny Cooper.
Is that so?
We also have Imperfect Dan.
Who's Lalo?
And we have Hrez.
Hey. I'd like to say that I'm the number one Buddy fan.
Buddy versus Jeff, who wins?
Buddy's
pretty tall.
Yeah, Jeff's like 3 feet tall. Well, before we go any further, we need to shout out the HN Films patrons. So special thanks to our ultimate fan boys, plural, Fartsom and Ben and Taryn Bailey. I don't know why that's the name I have. And our epic fanboy, Rhombus. So shout out to those 3 wonderful people. All right, so what are our initial thoughts on the long-awaited Breaking Bad kind of episode?
Probably the best type of use of the title, or best use of Breaking Bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I
Absolutely.
feel like the title was clickbait.
Really?
Yeah.
This dude.
I don't know. I thought it was very well used. You know, they had Breaking Bad stuff, and then they had Gene, Jeff, and Buddy. Breaking Bad. More so Gene.
Yeah,
and
Gene mainly.
Yeah, a lot of parallels to what was happening with Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Buddy was doing a bit of Breaking Good at the end there.
Oh yeah,
like Nacho.
Oh.
So I guess I'll say that I really enjoyed the episode the first time I watched it, but it was pretty depressing, and I got to give props to Dan because he was kind of right about a few predictions last week, where he said that Marion and Jeff would be, part of a multi-episode archetype thing, and also how he predicted that, Gene would eventually break bad and turn into Saul Goodman again, which I was pretty against, based on some visual cues from last episode.
Same.
Yeah, and it was pretty depressing watching this for the first time because you're kind of seeing someone that has historically been making multiple bad decisions in the past. We're seeing their uprising into who he is in Breaking Bad, and I kind of held out hope for him to turn over a new leaf, I guess. Maybe with the prospect of finding Kim, he would try to stay clean, but he kind of went the complete opposite way and just became ruthless again, I guess. In this regard, just became Saul Goodman again.
Well, I don't know. There's still 2 episodes left. Anything could happen.
This is probably the best Gene stuff we've gotten. A lot of good directions they took with him.
Yeah,
Definitely.
He was becoming a bit of a Gene Goodman. By the end of it.
Probably the most inhumane he's ever been. Besides the thing he did with Chuck.
The insurance thing?
Yeah, that.
What about the Howard shit? You don't care about Howard?
I don't know. It's not the same.
No one cares about Howard.
I'd interject a little bit. I think the Howard stuff was pretty inhumane, but I guess comparing it to this episode, he did the Howard stuff with Kim because they kind of got a whole personal enjoyment out of it. But you see him committing the scam, or I guess not really a scam, just straight up robbery, and he doesn't really get satisfaction from it. And I'll talk about this more as we go through the entire episode, but he doesn't really seem happy with it. It just seems like a way for him to cope with some reopened wounds from the past.
Yeah, and it's interesting, and I don't want to get into too much, but it seems like it relates to his past mistakes and almost kind of fixing some of his past trauma in his weird way.
What do you mean fixing?
Because Walter White has been the main focus of this episode, and it's one of his biggest screw ups, his association with him. So it's interesting that a big part of the story was him trying to open up and do business with a cancer man versus another one that he's trying to scam, and he literally has no sympathy for, or has lost sympathy for. And it seems like there's a sense of fixing, I don't know. There's a word for it.
Fixing
I don't
good?
know what it's called.
Fixing good.
But yeah, we'll get more into that later. But yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was very good. The direction with this episode was, in my opinion, way better than Nippy. Less
Yeah.
comedic and more serious. We get more depressing Kino and the return of paranoia at the beginning and at the end of this episode. Plus, they made the Breaking Bad shit work in a way that makes sense. Also, thankfully, I've been able to forget about Don Harvey's Jeff throughout this episode. So, I think I
Yeah.
deserve an applause for that.
Yeah, I'm
They
gonna.
dangled the Walter White card in front of you, and you completely forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll just add on to that. The first time I watched this episode, I know everyone kind of soyed over the cameos, but me personally, I didn't really. I'm not gonna say I didn't really care too much, but I was just satisfied with it. But on rewatch,
Yeah.
they kind of use it in a way that advances the story a lot because it's obviously matching parallels with bad decisions he's made in the past and bad decisions that he's making in the future.
I would say mostly yes, but one of the scenes I would argue doesn't really do that.
Are you talking about the cold open?
Well, yeah, the Walter White and Jesse stuff feels kind of thrown in. I'm guessing mainly to set up more important appearances next episode from them.
You know what? I'm gonna agree with you there. You can kind of see, like with the other scenes where he's talking to Mike, and we'll get into this.
One.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Mike one was really good, and also him at the end going into the school. Those ones are obvious.
yeah.
Parallels, but the Walt one just feels kind of like we have to put them in somewhere.
Maybe they just wanted to put Jesse in somewhere.
I don't know.
So we can say yo.
I think that scene made sense because that was again the first time they like had that official meeting, right? Like where they talked about like decisions, like in terms of like making deals. Like didn't Walt say like he was gonna give him like 80K or something?
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of it is like fluff, definitely fan service fluff, but at the same time it is setting up stuff. So I didn't mind it much. And it's still
Yeah, a
enjoyable.
lot of my current criticisms with like this and the last episode of my current story projection will depend entirely on how it goes in the last two episodes. Like, if they fuck it up at the end, then these episodes are gonna feel worse. But if they stick the landing, then all will be forgiven.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I guess
So
this
what
is,
I'm hearing is that
yeah.
Jeff should have been the main villain. That's what I'm hearing.
That is definitely not what I'm saying.
I guess this is a good segue to the opening scene, right?
Yeah. Did anyone on Earth expect them to actually like do this? The whole recreate thing from Saul's perspective. I guess it was kind of obvious that they were going to do that. I didn't think they were going to do this specific scene though.
Yeah, I thought it was wonderful that they did it from like a different type of perspective. Like we got to see like seconds before he says like the iconic lines.
Yeah, I'm glad they cut it off though before it went on too long.
I'm gonna agree with HN here and say I didn't really expect them to, I guess, recreate the scene. I guess I was more expecting them to make new scenes, but like Dan said, I'm pretty happy with this overall because we see a new point of view, how terrifying it was for him. You can see him panicking with everything, muttering different phrases in Spanish about how he has money. Yeah, exactly. Before he says those
mucho dinero.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think they mainly did this recreation cold open thing because they wanted to have that scene later on when they're in the RV, but they couldn't just have that, so they needed to set it up with the cold open, so that's why it's there. And just because it's cool, I guess.
The music was pretty scary in that.
Yeah, the music was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
They were going hard for no reason there.
Yeah, I like Breaking Bad.
And also something about that shot, when the fake grave is revealed, that shot looks like very cool in some way that I cannot explain.
Yeah, I really like the shot where you kind of see the side of his face where he's saying, "It wasn't me, it was Ignacio. He's the one."
Also, it was really clever relating it to the Lalo grave thing, but at the same time, I'm wondering if it relates to Lalo at all for Jimmy because like he didn't even know that he was buried there. So
yeah, I don't think that's related at all. No.
Oh, you don't?
It's just Jimmy being scared because he's in front of a fucking grave.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as soon as I saw the first frame, I knew immediately when this flashback took place. But I also thought, what else can they add from this scene without it being fan servicey? But both the opening and the later RV scene is done to set up the visual connection of the office scene where Saul gives birth to the idea of escalating Walter's businesses into new levels, you know, paralleling into what he's doing with Jeff and Tall Jeff with the dog. Uh, it gives the people who's never seen Breaking Bad an idea into what happened between Saul, Walt, and Jesse, and how Saul got from the Breaking Bad timeline into the Gene era with like new footage to please both sides of the fandom.
I feel
Also-
like they were trying to give non-Breaking Bad viewers like some indication of what was going on, but they didn't really give enough info. But at the same time, if they did do more, like actually showing more of like the meeting between Walt and Saul and whatnot that we actually saw in Breaking Bad, like it would have just felt irrelevant for people who have seen Breaking Bad. So I don't know.
Also, another thing is, can we talk about the new opening? Because nobody has really talked about it like that. But yeah,
Well, yeah,
they changed it a
I
little
couldn't
bit.
even figure out what that footage was supposed to be.
Isn't
Yeah, it was like when it starts, like it's very like it's messed up, and then it cuts into the black and white version of the videotape, but the font is the new font. But then it also
Yeah.
cuts to the blue, and then with the new font.
And then when it goes out to black, you can briefly see like the crossroad shot for a second.
Yeah, I wonder
Oh,
what that
really?
was
Guys called
about.
that.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
I'm
you can
thinking
see it.
I haven't scanned through the entire episode, but I'm thinking the main black and white shot during the intro might just be some random shot from the episode. It kind of looked like the Chi Machine thing, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, the
are you
main
talking about
black and
with,
white footage.
the wine or the beer thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't that when like Gene was like in the pilot? He was like sitting in his chair and he was like drinking something.
No, maybe.
Isn't
I
that
don't know.
supposed to be like a sort of a
I
reminder?
thought the
of that?
footage was just reused from the intro, like the original intro.
Maybe.
Mhm.
Besides the crossroad thing.
Yeah,
They're
thought it
going
was-
for something with those intros, and we'll have to see how that pans out.
I thought reusing the crossroads thing was sort of lazy, like you know, even if it's just for like one frame, whatever.
mean,
though.
Yeah,
We don't even know
I
what
guess
it's for,
just-
so
So, guys, there's going to be a crossroad in this episode. Maybe next episode, instead of a crossroad, it'll be like a quick flash of like Kim's feet.
What?
this dude.
Because next episode is the solo Kim episode.
I wonder if you cut these things out or not.
No, I'll leave that in.
Okay, all right.
Should we move on to Francesca living with like two stoner losers or whatever?
Yeah, Francesca the goat.
Like tenants or
Yeah.
something? What were they?
Yeah, I think they're like tenants. I think she's supposed to be some sort of landlord, I guess.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, they do complain that they pay rent and that she just can't leave, you know. But they also call her for maintenance purposes, so
Mhm.
I'm not
Yeah,
really
yeah,
sure
I
what the
know.
relationship is there, but I guess it's not supposed to be important.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see those two quirky characters again.
I do think she's a landlord. I mean, isn't that what landlords sometimes do? Like they come in and like fix stuff.
I don't think landlords personally like come down and try to plunge sinks, but you know,
Mhm.
maybe she's just a different type of landlord. I don't know.
Yeah,
It
'cause
it is a pretty
Francesca's
small
the goat.
apartment.
Yeah.
And then she sees the time and uses that as an excuse to get out of there because she has to go pick up that fucking phone that they set up in quite a ride at long last.
Yeah, and everybody was like, for years they were like theorizing who could it be? Is it like Kim, Howard, or you know, I mean, or
Cliff
Bill
Main's
Oakley, I
son.
guess, or Cliff Main's son? But nope, it's just Jimmy. It was
Which,
just himself.
you
Who
know,
thought it was
back-
Cliff Main's son?
You know, I was gonna say, I was wondering, is that supposed to be the phone call? I mean, it probably is, but like,
Yes.
you know, in quite a ride, he's saying, "Say Jimmy sent you," and I
No,
don't
that
know.
was in
Yeah.
regards to the he like gave her like a number for a lawyer, and that was when he said the Jimmy sent you thing. So that's like not the phone
Oh,
call.
it's not related to the phone call.
And we still don't know who that is. I guess it's just Cliff Main or someone.
It's
I
probably
mean-
not Bill Oakley because she.
Oh yeah, Goat Oakley.
No, it's probably not him though, because
Because Jimmy didn't know that he's now a lawyer, and he wouldn't
yeah,
have been at the
and it
time.
seemed like she didn't really know until she passed by one of his signs that he's the defense lawyer now.
I know
Yeah, and he's also gay.
the phone is meant to be connected, but it seemed like they had calls. They've called each other before. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know. It kind of seemed like that to me. Like, because
Ye-
the Gene stuff was like, what? How many years after Quite a Ride or Ozymandias, whenever it happened?
Only a couple months.
No, was it?
no, I
A
mean,
couple
like,
months?
I think almost a year.
No. Yeah,
'Cause,
this
like,
was over a year,
Yeah,
basically.
because like Jesse was in prison for like 8 months or something, and then this takes place like a month after Walter dies and
Something like
Jesse goes to Alaska.
Yeah.
It has to be within a year because when when Jimmy leaves and tells Francesca to call, he says, "Where are you going to be on November 12th or whatever the date is?" He doesn't specify what year, so it has to be that year. So
Mhm.
So November 2010 or October.
yeah, 2010.
Yeah, I couldn't really get a grasp on it. Like, there was a certain, I guess, sense of familiarity. It kind of made it seem like they've had numerous calls, but I mean,
I did not get that.
I think the obvious implication is that this is the first time, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. But yeah, congrats to Bill Oakley, man. Holy shit, he became a lawyer.
He's followed in Saul's
gay.
footsteps and took his place. You know.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty epic. One of my favorite parts of this episode was seeing what happens to him.
Yeah, and it sets up Bill Oakley defending Saul in the finale.
Oh man. Oh well. I mean,
We
if he
can add
does
him
come
to
to,
the-
uh-huh.
We can add Oakley now to the new dream team of like Kim, Aaron,
Aaron, Omar,
etc.
Howard
defending Jimmy in the finale.
Howard Zombie.
Yeah,
and
and
Chuck.
Chuck's ghost.
It was kind of good to get an update on Skylar, I guess, you know.
We got updates on fucking everyone. Shit.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, basically.
And I guess in this time we didn't necessarily see Gene's reaction to Walt dying. He kind of already knew in this one.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, he probably watches the news. Some of the things like she gets updates. Like, did he really not know that Skylar got a plea deal, or was she just saying that for the hell of it?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, to be honest. I mean, wasn't that news pretty big? Like, the Walt family? Like, everything around that?
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
it was
literally.
pretty big, yeah.
I mean, dude was like the most wanted, like, drug lord or whatever.
Hmm.
He's literally the most wanted man in all of America. I think.
I do wonder what deal Skylar got because, you know, even though Walt died and, you know, Walt Jr. got the money in Breaking Bad, I mean, he never was really in custody. So I feel like it was natural that the DEA or more like the federal government would just go after Skylar.
Yeah, well, now because Skylar got a deal so we now know that they dug up Hank and Gomez's bodies because she gave him the ticket or whatever. So Skylar got out. So now they're just looking for like literally anyone, which is why they're like trailing Francesca.
Okay,
And,
but real
so-
fans know that in American Greed, they confirmed this.
Wait, do they?
They confirmed the how they found Hank and Gomez's, like, they found their dead bodies there. Like,
Oh
in
yeah,
American
I
Greed.
remember that. I
They,
remember
they showed
watching
that. They said that for a little
Yeah.
bit.
Mhm.
Did they have
Not-
a picture of their decomposed corpses?
I wish. But also, it was interesting that they said they found in the news, like, she was like, oh, they found Jesse's car in like a border or something. And I was like, wait, so what is that referring to specifically?
It's referring to I think Skinny Pete driving his car, Jesse's car.
Badger, my boy Badger,
Oh,
dude.
all right. It was Badger. It was Badger. He drove it. You remember the plan in El Camino? He drove Jesse's car, and then Jesse, you know, took one of their cars to Ed's, I think, to the vacuum guy.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, I mean, even in the teasers, you see what's it called? You see Skinny Pete in what's it called? The interrogation room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, goat friends,
Still
Yeah.
so satisfying that he made it out.
the real triumvirate.
True. Yeah, the feds think that's where Jesse went into hiding in Mexico. And, you know, they'll always be looking for him there instead of anywhere else in America. So Badger's
Just
a
like
real one.
Nacho.
Oh, yeah.
Nacho's dead, bro.
Yeah, he's dead.
Oh,
So is
wait.
Jesse.
Oh, shit.
Wink,
El
wink.
Camino
Died
too?
off screen.
You know, I've been
They
waiting
should totally
since...
make an El Camino 2 just to kill off Jesse.
Oh, man. You know, I've been waiting since 2015 for updates on what happens to the Breaking Bad characters, especially Skyler, Walt Jr., and Huel. And it was one of the main reasons why I started Better Call Saul, because I saw that they show like 4 to 5 minutes of what happens after Breaking Bad through Gene. Now we don't hear about Walt Jr. because this is only a month after Felina and El Camino, so it hasn't been like his birthday yet. And I think they wanted to keep, if he got Walter's money, a secret, because that's like the only thing we don't know that will still get people talking, I guess.
I kind of assume he already got the money, or he is getting the money, you know.
Mhm.
But I get what you're saying.
Okay, none of this matters. Let's talk about Huel.
Huel got out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
He walked
go.
free.
Back home in New Orleans.
Oh man.
The GOAT.
And Kubi is nowhere.
Kubi's too busy being on The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Kubi's too busy starring in flop TV shows.
Man, it sucks so much how we only get a name drop for QB. He was like definitely one of the characters I expected to see more throughout the show, like Huel, and they ended up cucking themselves by writing Bill Burr until like season 5, and that's when a personal problem came up and he couldn't do it, so they just gave it to Mr. GTA 5 instead. But
Mr. X, yeah, the go.
yeah, I'm still hoping that in the next episode we get one QB scene.
It's never happening.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Damn it.
And I guess it's
I
also.
think maybe Mr. X will return though.
Yeah, probably. Also,
And we also kind of got a price mention somewhat.
Did we?
Oh, Danny, right? Danny.
Yeah, and then Gould or Schnauz or someone confirmed in an interview afterwards that Danny, the laser tag guy, is indeed Price. We just didn't get to see him.
Yeah.
What?
Daniel Wormhold, right?
Yeah.
The GOAT.
Really?
Yeah, I was
He's,
wondering
he's
while I was
holed up with Mr.
rewatching.
X somewhere.
Yeah.
The writers are thinking about HN. Wow.
Everyone loves Price, bro. It's not just me.
Shouldn't Price be in jail since he is an accomplice? Part of the
They probably didn't know
laundering
that.
Saul's money.
Well, yeah, they said
Oh.
Saul's Francesca mentioned that they got the laser tag and all of other Saul's money laundering places, so Price is probably doing time right now.
They even
Man.
they even got his fucking overseas bank accounts.
Yeah, they
It's
got
kind
all
of
of it.
crazy.
Shit.
I mean that's kind of on Saul because he listed Francesca as like I don't know, an accountant in that fake overseas thing. She mentions it, like she kind of had to give it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think we might see a Price in the finale? Like Saul's in jail, and then there's like a next shot of him just sitting right next to Price.
Yeah, the last line is him saying, "Hey, it's me," and then it ends.
Oh man.
And then, most importantly, Francesca mentions that fucking Kim called up to ask what was going on after the whole Ozymandias thing, and she even asked about Gene, which makes him very happy, maybe.
Yeah. I was very excited to see Kim be mentioned in this episode. We need Kim back. She was the one who carried this whole show, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, she'll be back next episode.
Yeah. So people in German translated the what Gene says to Kim, and vice versa. I think. Do you guys have that translation?
Yeah, it got deleted off the subreddit, but the basic
and also,
yeah. Wait,
and
what were you
also
gonna say?
someone managed to isolate Saul's dialogue, and you can actually hear him saying some of the stuff. He's talking about how I think he's talking about how he doesn't want to turn himself in and some other shit. The point is that he is talking to Kim on the phone, and some people, aka Dan, thought he was not talking to Kim.
It wasn't just me, bro.
It was everyone except me.
I mean,
No, Ethan was saying that too.
Yeah, we don't mention Ethan on this podcast.
Oh
yeah, there's a copyright on his name.
Cut it out.
Yeah. I saw lots of people think that Kim has cancer, and that's why Gene got pissed. But the German translation, which was louder than the English one, disproves that. But now I'm wondering how Saul and Kim will ever meet again, since they are in even worse terms now, right? So
yeah, I think anyone who was kind of expecting a happy ending where they end up together was kind of fooling themselves.
I was expecting that
expected
before
a
the season
reunion.
started.
Yeah, no, we expected a
At this-
reunion, but
At this point,
you can cut this
it's not
out.
looking
But
good.
people like Cinnabad were saying they were gonna write a corny type.
He was just
happy
saying that
reunion.
because HN wanted that, or HN kind of wanted that, and then Sinbad was just like saying that just out of pure cynicism.
No,
He
I
doesn't.
thought I thought it was on the cards until like
I mean,
the
it
last
was
two
on the
episodes.
cards, but I don't know. I guess this episode kind of reminded me how sort of tragic everything is, and this is kind of par for the
Yeah.
course. You know, a happy
still-
ending
I
just
still-
seems out of the stratosphere right now.
Yeah, I still do think that Kim and Sol won't meet face to face until like the very end of the last episode.
I mean, next episode is called what's it called? Waterworks.
Waterworks.
So,
Mhm.
and that's related to the sprinkler company. So, I
Well,
mean,
we
it's
assume.
related to that.
Imagine this dude goes all the way to Florida.
Also, they pretty
Just to
much
get
just
cucked.
said next or either next or episode after that we're pretty much going to get more confirmation for what happened in the call.
I mean, yeah,
I'm
probably.
assuming that next episode, either cold open or somewhere in it, we'll see that call from Kim's perspective.
Yeah, or we'll just kind of hear it while he's in the phone booth.
You know what?
Something like that.
I hope HN's idea is actually correct because that would be a really good way of like reusing or showing that scene again, just from a different perspective.
Well, yeah, it'll establish what Kim's up to. We'll get to soy face at Kim's back, and then we'll get to hear what was in the phone call, even though we already know what was in the phone call.
Kim B plot. We need a Kim B plot.
No, Kim is going to be the entire episode, bro. A plot.
Is Kim
That
balding
would be
too?
awesome. That would be awesome.
I think that's the real question. Is Kim balding? Like,
No.
Reggie.
What?
I am so intrigued to see how Kim's going to look. If she's going to look like a lot different, or if she'll just look the same.
Mhm.
She'll just have shorter hair.
I wonder
Yeah,
what
that's
she
what
does
I'm
at
thinking.
the sprinkler company.
Sell sprinklers, I guess.
Does she sell them? Does she make them?
I mean, okay,
I don't know.
You
It's
say-
not important, but
you say
you
the
know.
sprinkler thing is random, but also Saul Goodman turned into a manager at a Cinnabon, so is it
That's
really
what they
that
get.
crazy?
Yeah, but there's that parallel. You see, they're both working probably shitty jobs.
Mhm.
Although there could be a thing that Kim actually fucking loves selling sprinklers, you know.
I mean, she
Imagine.
probably doesn't.
Kim selling sprinklers montage next episode.
Oh, she's like a salesman, or I don't know.
And I guess something to mention about the the leaked German translation of the phone calls, it's kind of makes a lot of sense for I guess Kim to be very angry at Jimmy for calling her. I mean, he's a fugitive, and she had her run with Lalo and Howard getting murdered. She kind of learned her lesson from all of that, and she's probably pretty disappointed and angry that one, Jimmy never learned his lesson, and two, he's taking a huge risk and probably going to implicate her if he keeps trying to contact her.
See, my thing was that I didn't think he was calling Kim because it just did not make sense to me that like there doesn't seem to be a reaction of like joy or anything. It was just like talking, and then anger out of nowhere. But then now that you frame it like that, it does make more sense in hindsight.
Yeah, I think
I
it
mean-
makes plenty of sense.
The anger out of nowhere. I mean, we've seen their sort of arguments before, right? I think the main one I'm thinking about is the one in season 5 after Wexler v. Goodman, and the one on top of the parking lot, in season 4.
We Sahen, however the fuck you
Yeah,
pronounce
yeah,
it.
we know they can be pretty explosive sometimes.
No, my problem is this is like the first time he's seen her in like how many years? Like
Or
it's been
talked to her.
years, right?
Probably.
Well,
Yeah.
he might no, but Dan, he might be happy, but she probably definitely isn't. So she's immediately like, "What are you doing?" and stuff.
And he
No,
gets
that's
a
why I
rude
said
awakening.
it makes sense. That's why it makes
Yeah.
sense for what Atros is saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are we arguing about?
Nothing.
Uh,
We're just agreeing.
Nothing. We're making fake drama for the views.
Hell yeah!
Yeah. If I directed that scene, I will have had it where like the scene just slowly turns into color when Saul is calling Kim, but then it just reverts back into black and white.
I'm
wait,
starting
Good
to
thing-
think
Good thing
I
you
was-
did not direct it.
Damn it.
the more we talk about like him meeting Kim and then it becomes in color, I'm starting to think it's just not gonna happen.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's going to turn into fucking color.
Yeah, I remember when everyone was thinking that the Gene timeline was going to be color.
Mhm.
It will at some point. Ash.
Yeah, probably in the finale or maybe end of
Yeah.
the next episode. But I mean,
I think like the very last shot.
I was expecting it to be color from the get go in season 6.
Well, I think the reason is we're still like bouncing back and forth. Between
Yeah,
that stuff.
no, definitely. This is just me with my silly preseason predictions.
Yeah,
Mhm.
or maybe
Yeah.
those pretentious ass writers, they just really like black and white, you know.
True. You know, Francesca said that Walter's death only made it worse for the surviving low-level players who remained in the Empire. But who is still alive? That is in Heisenberg's business.
Kubi,
Kubi.
Huel.
Yeah, I mean,
Francesca.
He'll probably still gets his shit opened. Francesca,
Saul mentioned Ira as well. He was somewhat
yeah,
involved.
and Francesca notes that her phone's tapped and everything. Her mail gets opened all the time. Like even months after the whole Heisenberg thing, after they found Hank's body and everything, they're still suffering the consequences of it all.
Yeah, because they haven't been able to like fully apprehend anyone yet, and they want to apprehend someone.
Yeah, exactly.
Mainly Saul is definitely their top target.
Yeah, somebody needs to fall down for Walter. So
We still haven't seen the teaser of a Gene removing the soul. What? Y'all remember that?
That's not canon. Tom
You don't think
Schwartz
it's canon?
confirmed on Twitter.
Wait,
it's canon. It's not.
Gene removing the what?
It was like some like paper that said like Saul
Wanted?
Goodman was wanted by the DEA and he had a bounty for like $5 million.
Yeah, Tom Schnauz said that that's not canon. They just made that, I guess, for the teaser.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
aren't those
Still
promotional
was
stuff
epic.
kind of, I mean, purposely outrageous, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the season 4 poster, the season 5 poster, probably the season 6 one.
I mean, it
Yeah, but
wasn't
this
a
was like
poster.
actual like recorded footage of Bob
it's
Odenkirk taking it down as Gene
Where was this?
on Twitter or something.
Oh,
We can find
wow.
it after the fact.
Yeah, okay. I have no idea about this.
It's like in black and white and everything. Anyway, point is, Gene gets very mad. He smashes the fucking phone again. He has a little temper tantrum. Someone's gonna have to replace that glass on the phone booth.
Oh yeah, isn't that same gas station the one from Breaking Bad where like Jesse's like selling like his meth to this gas station lady, and then like Hank comes back in and tries to ask about Jesse, and then he looks at like the ATM to look for the RV.
Wait,
I
what's the
completely
place
forgot
called?
about that.
Wait,
But
what's that place
surely
called?
not, because that was a man in Albuquerque.
I mean, isn't Francesca in Albuquerque?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
she's like
that
way
was
out in
from
the.
Gene. That was from Gene's
You're talking about the
perspective.
phone. We're talking about the phone that Francesca's at.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I don't know. They do like to reuse locations, I bet. So
Yeah.
It makes sense for the episode Breaking Bad.
And I guess
What was
we gotta.
the point of that?
I don't know.
I guess we should
Asshole.
talk about.
Holy shit!
All right, man.
I
All
wasn't
right.
making fun of you, Dan. I was just saying that the title's stupid.
I was quoting Jesse.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
But,
Yeah,
obvi-
bitch, magnet.
Obviously, the
Oh.
phone call between what's it called, Gene and Kim, it kind of reopens some old wounds. Obviously, some wounds that he can't deal with if he's Gene.
Well, yeah. After this, we see Gene like he's working at the Cinnabon. Remember, there's a really long shot where it's just like lingering on him, and he's clearly a bit troubled, you know.
Yeah.
Which then leads to him going off to Jeff's house to get things going again.
Oh, why'd you guys like reckon like he even started that whole thing like specifically? Obviously
Because-
related to the call.
Because
but-
of the Kim call.
Yeah, because of the Kim call. I think he just needs a way to, I guess, cope with the rude awakening he just had.
yeah.
And
I-
all right,
Go ahead.
you go.
No, you should go.
All right. I kind of wrote in my notes somewhere that you can kind of say that you can kind of link his motivation for starting the scam to, I guess, the money prospect, because he just kind of lost all of his shell businesses. But it's very obviously clear that he's not getting any sort of pleasure from it. He's not getting any satisfaction the way he pulled scams with Marco and Kim. He's obviously just doing it just to do it.
Yeah.
Money's clearly not an issue for him because he still has those diamonds from season 5 and stuff.
I
I'm
think the
sure
writers
I'm
forgot
sure
about that.
No, Tom Schnauz said in the interview that he like made note that it's definitely not about the money. So
Oh. No, yeah, I know that. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, from a bigger perspective, it just seems to be because he like literally cannot revisit like anything from his past. Like he lost his money. He was trying to like, reconnect with some of people from his past. He couldn't do that.
Well,
So now he's going back to the one thing he was good at.
that
and-
brings up a question from last week that we talked about. Do you guys think that if he never called Kim, if he like never knew that Kim was worried about him, do you think he would have just given up the Saul persona for good now that he got Jeff and Buddy off his back?
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
know. I don't know at this point. Probably.
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
I
I
really
think he would
don't.
have given it up. Really.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so because again, for me, my interpretation was like always like the end of last episode. It just felt to me like this was just a guy trying to close a lid, but that lid just cannot stay closed forever. And all it takes is just something else for it to trigger itself, which
Mhm.
was Kim.
What I think is, if he didn't have the Kim call, he would not have gone back to Jeff and Buddy for it. But eventually, he would have gone back to doing something, some sort of scam stuff.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It
but
just would have taken a bit longer.
probably not on the scale of this, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely,
this is
definitely.
the morality of this scam, and we can talk about this later on. But the moral aspect of this scam is kind of different from the first one in Nippy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because like in
very
Nippy, he's trying to get rid of Jeff and Buddy, right?
Yeah,
So
It
this
was
would
just
be-
completely nasty with no rule.
Mm-hmm.
There's not
Yeah.
even like a shitty ethical justification like back in Hit and Run when he was talking to Huel about their reasoning for going after Howard. Like there's literally nothing like that. It's just being a dick.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he felt a lot like Walter in this episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's even
Mike-
kind of bald with a mustache.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah, I just read that on Reddit.
You know, this episode really made me hate Gene/Saul because it shows us how he hasn't changed after he left Albuquerque and did the heist in Nippy. Because, you know, I thought, you know, he was just trying to get rid of Jeff, you know, with the whole Nippy heist, which, you know, I guess he was. But I thought him leaving the suit behind meant to show that he's progressed. But nope, he was quickly, you know, able to just slip right back into the Slip and Jimmy persona. But now we see it as his coping mechanism as a result of the argument he had with Kim.
Yeah, that's kind
Yeah.
of where I'm at right now. You know, I really thought that he was gonna maybe let it go, or at least, like HN said, you know, he would have continued doing scams down the line, but nothing like this, you know, morally at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think we're on track for the Saul Goodman redemption at this point. I think at most we'll get some kind of final thing where it's like, damn, I'm a real son of a bitch, and then he goes to jail or some shit.
Probably.
But he's not gonna like be like Walt and like go and like try to fix all the things he's done. You know, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, like when Walt already died, Jesse's scot free. I think he's the one who has to, I guess, repent for everything, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and it makes sense because he did kind of cause like their empire to like become as big as it is,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, and that was established in this episode. Or, you know, it was more in
I
context.
saw someone say on Reddit or somewhere that Walt's fate was dying. Jesse got off scot free. He got away. So it only makes sense for Gene to like go to jail at the end because that would show like the free kind of like endings for someone in like that like criminal life.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
I didn't really think about that until this episode, but
Yeah, I'm really championing the jail ending at this point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It kind of reminded me of that like quote in The Sopranos. It was like there's only two endings for like a criminal. It's like you're either dead or in the can. So if he's not dead, then he's probably going to be in prison.
and Mike says something like that later on in this episode where he's like, you know, a guy like that, or like if the cancer doesn't get him, a bullet in the head or the cops will.
Yeah.
Exactly. He says the same thing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what ends up happening at the very end. The cancer did get him, and he got a bullet just not in the head.
Yep. Just a little lower, you know, just a little lower. And Mike says solid also in that scene, but I guess we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
I guess we can move on to the
Next
scam
scene.
stuff now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, Gene. Oh yeah, do we need to talk about what he actually does at Jeff's house?
Jeff's. I mean, no. There's like a cute little Easter egg in there where he's talking about the whole. You know, it's like the cat videos. He's like, he tells what's it called, Carol Burnett. You know, it's like you're hosting America's Funniest Videos, and that's a little bit of a cute Easter egg because Carol Burnett was one of the first female hosts for a comedy show.
Oh my god!
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why she's pretty important.
You're reading like trivia
Oh.
pages of this episode or something, or did you just know?
I knew this from last episode. I just noticed it this time.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think we have you here.
Wait,
Yeah.
and And also, another important thing to bring up, obviously, was he went straight to Jeff, which is like this is how you know him planning the scam. It's like not the same as like Gene from before. Like he went straight to him the next time. Wait,
Last
am
time?
I skipping?
What are you
I think
talking
I'm
about?
skipping. No, I'm skipping way to the end. Holy crap.
What are you
That's
talking
at the
about?
very end. No, I'm talking about the when he like went straight to Jeff and didn't even talk to Marion, but that's literally all the way at the end. But yeah,
Yeah,
keep going.
okay. Whatever you were saying, it's definitely not going to be the final cut. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Gene meets up with Jeff, and he's like, "I know we were done, but we're done when I say we're done." Haha.
Is that what he actually says?
No, he
No.
doesn't.
Oh.
It's effectively what he says.
Going back to what I mean, Dan's kind of right. You know, he's but that's not at the very end. You know, he's kind of starting to sow the seeds of suspicion with Marianne because she obviously
Yeah.
seems a little bit interested when Jean's like, "Oh, hey Jeff, let's go to the garage. Let's go check on that car."
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
And then
yeah. That's what I was
obviously at
trying to
the
get
end
at.
when she sees Gene and
Yeah, that's
Buddy
probably
like
one of
causing a
the.
ruckus outside. So
That's
Marion's
probably
definitely
one.
gonna find some shit out next episode.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people think that
Die.
Jeff buying her the computer is what's going to lead to Jean's downfall. You know, she's going to look up Saul Goodman and, you know, follow
yeah.
that.
I was
She's
thinking
gonna
that
watch
this
American
episode.
Greed.
Yeah. I don't know. That might actually happen. I think that might be how they make that American Greed thing canon.
We
So
can't throw
here's my
anything out the window at
question.
this point.
Yeah,
My
go ahead,
question
Dan.
is, do you guys think what setting do you think the show will end on? Do you think it'll end in Omaha, Albuquerque, Florida? Where?
Florida.
I feel
Uh,
like Florida because like after this episode, I don't see any reason why Kim would go up to Omaha. You know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
also
and we absolutely have to have that face-to-face reunion, unless he does just get arrested in whatever Omaha, Albuquerque. In the last scenes, Kim coming to visit him in prison, maybe, but I don't know.
you know, what's it called? Going back to another prediction I had before the season, I feel a little silly because I think in the first few podcast episodes I was in, I was kind of mentioning how they were setting up Kim to move back home to Nebraska, but obviously that's not the case at all. She's in Florida now.
It
we
moved to
kind
the
of all
exact
thought that
opposite location,
Yeah, she's so far away.
which is just definitely intentional.
because the East Coast is the best coast.
Not Florida.
Okay, that's mean.
Well, they said that Kim would suffer a fate worse than death, and I guess living in Florida has got to be up there.
True.
True.
I guess we can
Kim-
go into the specifics of the scam, right?
Yeah, he's like, Gene's doing some karaoke, which immediately was Winner flashbacks. He's not singing The Winner Takes It All, though, thankfully. That would
And
be
he uses
inappropriate.
a different name, Victor.
Yeah, Victor from season 2, episode 1.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah,
kind
but
of kind of appeasing himself to these rich. Well, in this scene, to this one rich, arrogant guy who kind of takes the piss out of him and everything.
Did anybody else think that was supposed to be like a replacement for Marco? Like that was like his new best friend or some shit? Or was that just me?
I think it was just you.
Oh.
I did took it a little more seriously at first. I was like, wait, does he just have a new person that he talks to? But then as they kept talking, I was like, okay, yeah, this is a part of something.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was like, what's he doing right now? Is he just going out in town trying to, I guess, get drunk to hide his pain from the phone call? But, you know, as it goes on longer, you see what he's really doing.
Well, yeah, once he calls him Victor, it's obvious. And he's like losing the bets on purpose to get him more drunk or whatever.
Wait, just one question. Was Victor the name that he used in Better Call Saul when he was doing the scam with Ken and Kim?
Yeah, and Kim was Giselle. Victor.
Yeah, okay. I was thinking that just now, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. And the guy he pranks or trolls is the guy from Home Alone. Did you guys notice that?
Wait, is he really?
I haven't
Yeah,
seen Home
the
Alone.
bully from Home Alone.
Oh
Buzz.
my god, is it?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's
That's
awesome.
peak.
Yeah.
I touched on this a little bit earlier, but you know the moral aspect of this scam is much different from Nippy, where you know he's just sending Jeff into a department store with no one in it just to rob like dozens of things, whereas here he's getting these guys drunk, I guess, or he's sort of appeasing to them, making them feel like on top of the world, and then he gets Jeff to just straight up, you know, drug them and put them to sleep.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, and yeah, he's like getting him to drink more, and then he's pretending to drink by having that like thingy he has under his shirt.
Yeah, the fake little.
I didn't know what
thing.
that was at first until afterwards.
Like a Mario Sunshine type shit.
Yeah, he was gonna spray it at him.
And then what's it called? Buddy hops in and he
Mhm.
just straight up breaking and entering and taking photos of, the credit cards, the IDs, the medical stuff, the financial documents for
Yeah,
I
literally
guess
everything. Does he
Yeah.
just have that dog with him to look less suspicious when he's outside?
maybe it's for like alarm purposes, like the dog would
'Cause that
bark
is-
if
that-
he's
that is
Yeah,
a
why
well-trained
is
dog.
the dog inside the house?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
cool
I was
dog
wondering.
though.
Yeah, I want that
True.
dog.
Yeah. Also, did anybody else get like Mike vibes from this guy, Buddy? Because like that's
Kinda.
what Mike
Wow.
does in the early seasons.
That's kind of what Mike did at Chuck's house. He was taking photos, not of
And,
Chuck.
Yeah,
uh,
he did do that.
and like Betsy's place as well.
I got
Jimmy
more
is
like
just good at hiring the right people. Like, I don't know how he finds these people.
Well-
Jesse vibes from him towards the end, unironically, just the slightest hint of Jesse. But
No, actually, I agree with you with that.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
has some sort of moral compass.
yeah, but we can touch on that later, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I think, well, the music during the buddy scene is pretty damn great.
The music's just been amazing all season. I can't wait
Yeah.
for that shit to drop.
Exactly, yeah. But after that, we get our first big flashback, or I guess our second.
Hmm.
We get what every BBU user and Reddit user on Earth has been waiting for. Walter and Aaron Paul.
Oh my god.
At first, when Jesse showed up, when the very first thing he said, I was like, "Oh no, this is so off." But the second time I watched it, it wasn't nearly as bad. In terms of looks, I think he looks like as good. He looks good, like way better
He
than El
looks
Camino.
he looks so much better than he did in El Camino. Yeah,
He
towards
doesn't
the
have
end.
a,
Yeah.
he doesn't have a soccer ball face anymore. He's like
Mhm.
his,
Yeah, he
doesn't
actually worked out.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
it's just his voice
wearing a
is
hat.
so deep. It just throws me off.
I've been seeing a lot of people on Reddit kind of saying that Bob Odenkirk slips effortlessly back into Saul Goodman, but Aaron Paul doesn't. But I kind of disagree.
It's not
with that.
about it's not about sounding the same. It's just how you act, right?
I mean,
I
it's-
thought the way he acted was like off as well. It was like he was drunk.
Shit.
No, I mean no, because like in the scene, it's like they're trying to be like very like nonchalant. They're trying to like make sure like Saul doesn't know too much. So Jesse, he's not like as energetic.
It might
That
be
and I think it was
it's,
because like it was also nighttime, and they were like digging up that thing for Saul. To put
Yeah,
him-
yeah, of
like
course,
Jesse
that
was
probably
probably
just-
tired at that time.
It's just
Yeah.
it still is kind of.
I mean, this is
for me.
this is probably as best as he could have looked. Especially
yeah.
it was probably intentional with all the lighting in the RV. And
Yeah, it was
everything.
dark as fuck.
It's
Mhm.
probably way better than I don't know Disney's version of this, which they would have just made a CGI Jesse.
yeah.
Well, actually,
I mean,
they didn't
speaking of-
CGI Anakin and Obi-Wan.
CGI
They-
Jesse with the AI voice. Yeah.
Well, I mean, so my thing is like some
Hey
people
guys, it is me,
legitimately
Jesse Pinkman.
Some people legitimately think like they should just recast like Jesse in that scene, and I'm just like, it's really not that big of a deal to me.
It might also be the fact that like Walt, Saul, and especially Walt are like perfect.
Mhm.
That just kind of
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bryan
Walter
Cranston's,
looks
like,
exactly like he
the
was
same.
in season 2.
Here's why it's a bit of an unfair comparison. These are like middle-aged characters
Yeah,
played
they're,
by
like, older.
middle-aged like old actors, right? It's not
Yeah.
that hard compared to like a 40-year-old playing a 20-something-year-old.
Mhm.
honestly, this is gonna probably be a bit unpopular, but I wouldn't have minded a recast.
What?
I
No.
wouldn't.
Of Jesse?
I wouldn't have really cared that much. Yeah, I mean, but I'm glad Aaron
I
Paul
mean,
came
I
back
would have
for it.
because I don't think anybody could do Jesse better.
That would have been
Yeah.
100 billion times more distracting than like a deep voice.
Maybe. Okay,
Exactly.
that'll be my
Also-
hot take of this episode. Yeah.
I think this is like an El Camino too, but like I feel like when Jesse talks in a lower voice, he just doesn't sound like himself from Breaking Bad. But when he talks in like a higher, like he's yelling, that's when he sounds like himself from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, he was just talking quietly the entire time. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still really glad Aaron Paul came back to do it, and he probably did some work, I guess, to look more like young Jesse. I don't know what he did. Maybe he just lost some of.
I
don't know how
think
to
that was
word it.
probably there was probably a lot of makeup as well.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that he lost weight for Westworld too. So
Mhm.
Bryan Cranston though, Jesus.
amazing.
And they got
yeah.
around that whole little ball cap thing by just putting those little ski masks on.
Yeah.
I
But I mean,
wonder though,
we
because you
are
couldn't
gonna.
even see his hair. I wonder if that
Yeah,
was like
next episode he'll be walking around with a Heisenberg hat on. Just so you wait.
Goatee,
Yeah.
please. We need Goatee Walt. We need Walt with the full beard, please.
Yeah, the
We
goat.
need
Yeah,
it.
that's what I was waiting for this episode. So I was
I
I was
legitimately
just a
wanna see
little
it.
disappointed when it was just mustache Walter, but
Well, we still got next episode.
yeah, because I think Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul said that they filmed like one scene like together, right, with both of them together,
and then scenes separately as well.
yeah. So we're gonna get that in either next episode or the finale.
And
I will say, I do like how the entire purpose of like this scene was to essentially establish like their entire relationship. Like Saul, he kind of figures out like, oh, you're Heisenberg, and then like and he's just like, oh my gosh, like I should be in on this and everything. And then also we get that classic Breaking Bad nostalgia with the Walt and Jesse banter. I'm glad that felt just like Breaking Bad. If
And
they
also
had
but
that back.
compared
and also
to
there's a bit of a sub purpose to it when you know, Jesse mentions Lalo. We see sort of that bit of that old trauma reopen up with Saul right there.
Holy,
Yeah.
that was so amazing. I was shocked when it was Jesse of all people bringing up Lalo. I didn't even think they'd bring up Lalo again.
Yeah, I seen some people on TikTok talking about how it felt forced or something, but I mean it makes complete sense that this
Mhm.
dude from the streets and everything, he's never heard of Lalo, but Saul's terrified of him. He'd obviously be curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saul has been in exciting adventures that they can never even process.
Yeah, I was waiting
Yeah.
for him to say, "Yeah, Lalo Salamanca," so Walter and Jesse can like look at each other and be like, "Oh, we killed or we teamed up with one of his cousins or some shit." I think that would have
Yeah,
been
glad they didn't do that. That would have
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't do that, but it would be funny if like he did say Salamanca and then both of them just look at each other and not say anything. That would be a fun.
No,
be a fun
Jesse should
mention.
have said who's Lalo, and then even though it wouldn't make sense at all, Walt should have said, "Wait, wasn't that guy that killed that Howard guy?"
yeah.
Even though no one
You-
knows about this.
You kind of have to question Saul's decision making because, in the same scene where they bring up Lalo again and he gets scared again, all he
Mhm.
sees later on is just a big money opportunity.
hmm
It's like he just
Yeah.
doesn't learn his lesson, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're not Lalo, so
I mean, you can say this with literally him becoming Saul after Kim left him, even though literally she's just trying to say, "Hey, we should not be doing this crap. It hurts people." He didn't learn anything from that, did he?
Nope.
yeah. When Walt turned the keys for the thing and it didn't work, I thought we were in for 4 Days Out Part 2 plus Saul.
Oh my gosh, that was such a nice throwback. When they did that.
Yeah, I thought the scene was very good. My friend who was watching it with, he was expecting like way more, but
There's still more
thought this
coming,
was
so
nice. yeah,
Oh yeah.
unless
Uh,
they
and-
just lied.
And obviously the best part of the whole scene when Walt's coughing comes back, and by the way, I don't know how he got the cough perfectly right. It sounds just like Breaking Bad. But just seeing Saul's reaction to that, and then obviously that plants an idea in his head like, yeah, I should probably help this guy out in my own tiny sympathetic brain way.
hmm
I don't think it was really sympathy. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it is because he literally did not have to stick with him. Like obviously it was for the money, but him having cancer played a role.
The only role it played was him wanting him to cook faster so they can make.
Yeah, I don't really see much sympathy in Saul's mind when he sees Walter.
Bro,
I think he just
his reaction to when he saw Walt coughing, and then
I
like him
mean-
realizing that he had cancer afterwards.
I mean, yeah, he's probably shocked by it, but I don't think he does it because he knows this guy's gonna leave the Earth soon. He's probably just doing
Obviously
it for the
not,
money.
but like,
Yeah.
Plus,
there's some
way-
level of sympathy there. That's just my
Plus,
point.
whenever Walt's cancer's brought up in season 2 of Breaking Bad with Saul, Saul's always just like, "Oh man, like we could have made so much more money,"
Yeah,
Like I guess you could disregard that as like, "Oh, it wasn't Better Call Saul time, so we don't have the added info now." But I don't think sympathy's playing much of a role at all.
I mean, the
Yeah.
fact that he literally chose Heisenberg over like literally anybody else, I don't know. That kind of does say something about
well, what do you mean anybody else? Who else is cooking?
literally
99%?
what Mike. Well, when Mike was like recruiting those lists. Okay, we should probably get there, or when we get there, we'll talk about it.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
What do we go
Yeah.
to next? Gene.
Well, after they fucking
Yeah.
drive off, there's this crazy ass transition where it's like the grave, and then Gene's in the grave, and it's the bed. He's in bed.
thought it was
And for
Lalo.
a split fucking set, yeah, I thought it was gonna be fucking Lalo.
Oh my goodness, bro. I was so shook. I was like, no way they're doing
Now
Lalo.
we're gonna cut to Lalo's decomposing body,
It's
and then it was
definitely,
gonna
Skits
pan
out.
out to the lab.
it's definitely Lynch core. No, I'm
Yeah.
joking. Yeah.
David Lynch should have directed this episode, honestly.
Would have been Kino.
Yeah.
Would've been
He
fun.
would have saved the whole, Gene storyline. No,
I
but-
mean, later on when we get the next scene after this, which is like kind of another montage of the scam and everything, you kind of note these directorial choices, like when he's putting the drugs or the barbiturates in the water bottles, and you see the corners, like each of the corners of the screen, there's like a hand, sort of.
What?
Mhm.
I
Do you
can't-
not know
was
the
this?
scene I'm talking about? When he's
I know what
doing
you're
the
talking
montage?
about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just don't think I've seen that before in this show. That type of, I don't know. I don't know what you would
I
call
mean,
it.
if we're gonna talk about directing choices, there has been a lot of like fade to other scenes. Like, has the show had this
Dissolves.
many fade-ins?
Yeah, see, that's what I
Fade-outs?
was thinking. This episode in particular just kind of feels like differently
Like a
directed.
classic movie, almost kind of. in a way.
Yeah,
The last time I remember was that Marco montage in the season 1 finale. There was a lot of dissolves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Also,
what it
during
is.
that
Sam Raimi
montage-
core.
Yeah, during that montage, there's a part, I don't know if you guys noticed, where they have like all the like ID cards laid out, and one of them has Thomas Schnauz on it.
Oh, really?
Really?
Like just his photo. Yeah. It was like
Yeah.
right in the middle of a screen. I saw it immediately. And I like saw faced at the screen, and then it cut. They're just shoving him in anyway. He's on cheese. He's on fucking ID cards.
Good. I hope
Yeah,
he's
and,
in more.
and during this, what's it called? This montage. Well, shortly before the montage, you see him by the little foot thing, the swing master.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then as we go on further in the montage, as he keeps scamming people, we see Buddy and Jeff enjoying themselves, counting the money, and going to the strip club and everything. And
Oh,
Gene's just in the
yeah.
back
Wait,
of.
we skipped something.
What do we skip?
Gene getting that thing from the package.
I just said that.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, the
Oh, never
swing
mind.
master.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's called the swing master.
Bruh.
/ cheat machine.
Yeah, but basically what I was saying is in both of those scenes, what's it called? With Buddy and Jeff counting the money, going to the strip club, you can just see Gene in the back of both scenes, kind of in the dark, and he's not really enjoying himself at all. He's just kind of staring into space.
But in the same, but also he's like getting more of that like parts of that Saul Goodman personality back. Like he's sleeping with hookers and shit. And then later on, he even has the Bluetooth earpiece in.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think he's really enjoying it. You
Did
know
he
what
just
I mean?
bought it?
I don't know.
I don't think he's really getting any pure satisfaction from it. I think he's just.
I don't
doing
know. It
it
seemed like he was
just to
getting
feel
some, but yeah, just to,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, just to feel like Saul, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah,
Should
after that
we-
montage, we
yeah.
see his next victim, which is a guy with cancer. Oh no!
Walter?
and and during that scene, like it does look like Gene's sympathetic for a moment, and maybe he is, but then he doubles down on it anyway, which is intriguing.
Yeah, I mean
Yep.
the entire dynamic between Gene, or I guess Victor, and this cancer patient guy, it's obviously different. Like this guy doesn't really seem very arrogant at all. He kind of, I guess, just seems normal. He just likes to hear himself talk.
I mean, that's also not that different from Walt in season 2, or from the flashback that we saw, because he didn't seem that horrible.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess. But what I was going for is basically, probably, this is probably intentional to make him feel sympathetic to the viewer. And even though, like, most of Gene's victims in this scam, like, we don't know for sure if they were all as arrogant and annoying as the first guy. But, with this guy, we're obviously made to feel like he doesn't, quote unquote, deserve it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the point is like he might have been a rich household or not, but like he's just not even. He doesn't even care that he has cancer. Like he just treats him the same way, and then that's kind of like where a bit of humanity is kind of lost there.
Yeah.
But I still don't know what the word is called. But to me, it legitimately felt like his sympathy was kind of like reminiscent of like him reacting to like Walt coughing in the flashback. But it almost felt like he wanted to have the opposite reaction because he didn't want to repeat that mistake he did with like working with Walt. But in doing so, he becomes almost like Heisenbergian in that type of way.
Heisenbergian. Is that the new Lynchian?
Yeah, let's go. We're
Heisenbergian.
making up new words now.
Coining a
Hell
new
yeah.
term.
I'm dropping that one in BBU and Barek now.
Heisenberg.
There's no way
Um,
I came up with that. There's probably somebody else that did that.
No, you trademarked it. We need to put a patent on that.
Copyright.
But yeah, Gene sends him off into the Jeff's taxi anyway, and then we get the return of Egghead Mike himself. We're wearing his fucking sunglasses from that one episode, the first episode he was introduced in.
Sunglasses
Yeah.
look so funny, man.
Wait, so
I
that
swear
was
to God, they're like crooked on him.
so was that the exact episode where like they first meet, or do you think that was before? I mean, where Mike was first introduced in Breaking Bad, or do you think it was still like a lot before that?
Wasn't
Obviously it's
Mike-
before because Mike's introduced after Jane dies,
Yeah, I think it's way
and this
before.
scene was before Saul goes to meet Walter at his office at school. So I guess around that time, Mike
Okay.
was just wearing sunglasses, and then immediately after decided to stop wearing them.
It's crazy how I don't know if this was like your reaction, but I was kind of excited when Mike showed up, which is weird
Yeah,
because
I
like
was as
he's
well.
the second main character of the show. But it was,
I mean, did any of you guys see that Jonathan Banks' name was in the credits at the start? Because I did.
I
Yeah,
wasn't
I
really
did.
paying attention to the credits.
Yeah,
I did as well, but I
always
was
read
still
the credits.
surprised.
But I'm always glad to see more Saul and Mike interaction.
Yeah, I'm really glad that wasn't the last of Mike we saw because I really wanted Mike and Saul in Breaking Bad times, and
And we see
this is
that,
basically what I wanted.
we see that they're still working quite a bit together. Like, I know some people were saying that Mike kind of holds resentment for him, but I mean, it still seems like they
Just
work.
annoyance.
Yeah, I mean, but it still seems like they work a lot together. Like, Mike's basically reporting on 4 different people that he was sent to investigate for Saul.
Yeah, it did seem
I-
like Mike was like just like didn't really want to be there. Like it seemed like I
Yeah,
feel
he
like they
seemed
have like
pretty-
they have like a rapport going.
Yeah, he
Minus
seemed
the
pretty
fair-
businesslike.
I think HN kind of like said it perfectly like a few episodes ago, like how Mike only like kind of tolerates him because like they have shared history, but he probably doesn't
But
really like
I
him
feel
that
like
much.
they have like some level of like chemistry with each other.
Yeah.
Some type of respect, but like yeah.
I'm kind of mad they've just glossed over the fact that Mike told Kim about the Lalo thing and not Saul. I guess it doesn't really matter, but I just wanted to see that like
Yeah.
be
But I
brought
mean
up.
at that point I just wonder like did the story really need that at that point?
No, it
'Cause they
didn't
kind of
need
missed
it.
their opportunity, really.
Yeah. But
And
yeah,
we
I like this Mike scene way more than the Walt scene, honestly.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, I think they adapted this scene from the comics because they did like this one comic that they made for the first season of Better Call Saul to promote the show. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about.
I've heard of it, but I haven't like looked into it at all.
This is a Breaking Bad comic.
Yeah.
Like a Better Call Saul comic, or I
Oh.
guess that takes place in Breaking Bad. Yeah, that was
And-
pretty nice.
I guess we see a glimpse of Mike's intuition because he very clearly warned Saul not to step anywhere near Walt,
Walt,
but
Yeah.
he just can't resist. I guess.
yeah,
I like
saw.
his comparison, comparing Walt to Betamax.
Who's that? Am I?
Isn't it?
It's like a video format, like
Mhm.
like VHS, kind of like
Oh.
HD DVDs versus Blu-rays. One of them was a hit, the other one wasn't. But he was like, "Oh, I bought a Betamax, top of the line product, but it turned out to be a piece of shit, just like Walt would end up being."
Compared to Gus, right? Ooh, bravo, Vince. I saw people say that we now know why Mike hates Saul, and it's because he warned him not to get into business with Walter, who we saw in Breaking Bad. They despise each other very much because, like,
I mean, I doubt that's the entire reason.
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. That's what I saw on TikTok, and people were saying on Reddit. But yeah, I saw like this sort of, I guess, sort of establishes Mike's aggression towards Walter. I don't know if I was the only one who thought of that, who caught that. Yeah,
He's
Yeah.
never, from the very get go, he's never had any like level of respect for Walt.
yeah.
Oh, and here's another connection I'm not thinking of. The fact that Saul chose Walt, even though Mike pretty much highlights that he's an amateur and stuff, this kind of reminds me of the Winter episode where Jimmy and Howard and were like picking between all these interns, and then one of them had like a troubled past. and because of that, she didn't get the scholarship opportunity or something. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
Maybe.
yeah, this is kind of similar in that way, where like Jimmy kind of picks like the person, like the little guy or something like that. Maybe that could also, you can interpret that as also why he chose to like stay with Walt. Also, I mean, obviously the cancer somewhat played a role, but maybe he
Hmm.
just has an affinity for the little guy or somebody that's unlikely to.
I think you were way off, honestly.
You think I'm way off? Okay.
Yeah.
Tell him.
I
Tell
think
him.
it's just like, well, obviously the money thing's a factor, but also just like Saul wants to always like go after like the big like not scam or whatever, but just like I guess a way to distract himself maybe from the Kim stuff because that's probably always still in his head.
I mean, I think about this from like, yeah, like he has some humanity about it because I just think it's meant to contrast like Gene in this episode where like he's taking the exact opposite idea. But I mean, who knows? Maybe you're right, maybe I'm wrong. Who
Sharon
knows?
really sent
Just
nighty night
interpreting it.
everyone into the chat.
Who?
Nothing.
What?
What?
Nothing.
So what happens
Oh.
next? We are back
Mike
in
just
James-
solid.
Yeah, Jane's chilling at home with his little earpiece in, and then he gets a call from Jeff, and it's a very distressing call, it seems. So then he runs off to Jeff's house, and him and Buddy are making quite a ruckus outside because the dog keeps barking and that alerts Marion's attention.
Yeah, what happened to the dog?
I saw some people say that Marion, she'll like find out about Saul in some way, and Marion will be Saul's downfall. So an elderly woman will be Saul's downfall as karma for the Irene thing.
Wow, I didn't even think about it like that. That would be awesome.
And just like his whole like elder law thing is like, oh my god, elders were the things that brought Saul down in the very.
Dog was just barking because it can sense that Gene is evil now.
You think that's what? Do you think that's what they were going for? But
No, it's just
because
it's just some bullshit I made up. But
that dog was very well behaved before, so it seems weird for it to be barking now. So
yeah, kind of.
rather
Yeah,
unfortunate.
I wonder what happened.
You think Gene did it?
I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no.
The first time I watched this scene where they're in the garage, the whole Gene saying, you think guys with cancer can't be assholes. I speak from experience. It felt a little forced the first time I watched it, but second time I watched it, I guess it makes more sense because this isn't really Gene anymore. He's kind of Saul now, and he's, Saul's quite the quipster anyways.
I mean, also, I was gonna say, saying I speak from experience seemed a little bit like pandering, like just saying, hey, it's a Walt reference. Like he could just say, hey, you think people with cancer can't be assholes, and then he didn't have to say the experience part. But that's just me personally.
I mean, it could just be a way of him reminding them of who he's been involved with, kind of like with the
That is
last
true, yeah.
episode,
That's true.
and also
Just kind of
for the audience to soy face that.
just kind of reminding them of who the big fish are and that they're little fish.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this line over here is literally why I tried making that connection of like why he's stuck with Walt versus why he doesn't care about this new cancer dude. But yeah.
Yeah, this whole scene reminded me of season 5 when Jesse tried to like leave the game, but Walter kept like kept trying to like persuade him to join back into the business.
It was the Say My Name episode, and
Yeah.
that was by Thomas Schnauz too.
Oh my god! And that also featured the character of Saul Goodman.
Oh.
That's not as smart.
In this
That's not as smart.
episode, Gene's becoming Saul Goodman again. Oh,
Yeah, and
Okay,
this whole
parallels.
this whole argument kind of makes it clear that Gene's not doing it. I mean, we kind of already knew, but it kind of just says it pretty bluntly here when Buddy says, "Hey, we got all this money. Let's just not scam this. Let's just not rob this one guy tonight." And Gene says, "No, we're gonna go through with it." Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jeff being a filthy centrist during the whole thing.
I can kind of see both sides.
I don't know. He seemed a little. Jeff seemed a little worried, or I guess scared.
A little, yeah.
He didn't want to be
lot.
caught, obviously. Like he's trying to keep this in the low.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end, I definitely think he's ditching Gene. I don't think he's coming back in 20 minutes.
Oh yeah. Did you guys notice how Gene says "not your call" like Mike?
Oh,
Wow.
I didn't make the
Yeah.
Mike connection. When does Mike say that?
He says that a lot on the show. He's like, "not your call."
Oh,
Or
He
like
says
no,
it
Mike
to
Hall.
he says it to Werner before he murders him.
Once again, doing
Yeah.
that Walt thing where, like, after the villains die, he just says stuff that they say.
Doesn't
No,
he?
what's happening is Gene is merging the Saul Goodman persona, the Walter White persona, and the Mike persona to become the ultimate Sigma.
Mhm,
Ultimate
yeah.
Sigma.
And with this power, he will murder everyone on planet Earth.
Was
Wait,
Mike
what was
in-
what did Mike say about the whole learn to take yes or something? And then Walt says the exact same thing. Just reminded me of that.
Mhm.
They're just like repeating cool lines in the show. It's
Yeah.
nothing major.
Yeah. Or
Goat
like cutting
Riders.
bread and then like after killing Crazy Eight, like he cuts the crust off the bread. That's so
just
disgusting.
stupid.
That is actually horrible.
Mhm.
And then we obviously got to touch on the very cool transitions between Breaking Bad era and the Gene era.
Yeah, that was so cool. Like when he closed the door of Jeff's car and then cut to him closing the door of the caddy, going off to
Mhm.
Walt's house. Incredibly obvious parallel with what he's doing right now. Going to Walt's house, not Walt's house, not going to the school
Yeah.
was a major fuck up, and so obviously going to this guy's house was also going to be a major fuck up.
Yeah, it's like trying to show us that he's about to sign a deal with the devil, and that's
Yeah.
which is going to lead to his ultimate downfall.
Yeah,
And
that's
also
what I was
walking down
thinking,
that
yeah.
bad choice road again. You know, keep
Yeah.
bringing
Yeah.
He's
it.
trying to trying to fuck. I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say. But like
Bad Choice Road has
literally
to be one of the most like important episodes at this point in terms of like.
yeah, because there's so many quotes in it.
One
Like,
day,
that
you're
literally
gonna wake
applies.
up, gonna eat your breakfast, brush your teeth,
You
go
need to
about
give
your
up this mic
business.
impression. It's so bad. You're just talking.
But yeah, what Johnny said is true. I mean, the parallels the entire episode are there. That he has a history of making bad choices, but this one in particular is kind of implying that going to this guy's house is about to be the worst choice he's ever made since I guess going to Walt's high school.
Hmm. Yeah, and both Mike and Buddy, told them not to go and do business with these folks.
The
You
moral
know,
of the story is literally everyone needs to listen to Mike's advice.
Yeah, basically.
And Buddy as
Everyone
well.
disregarded it, and
Oh.
everyone is dead now,
Mhm.
or in a shit spot.
I mean, Mike's been in it longer than everybody, so
And you know who
Yeah.
did take Mike's advice? Jesse, by going to Alaska, and he's doing pretty good now. So
oh wow,
True.
dang, Mike was the hero of Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Mike did nothing wrong, guys.
Yeah, I can't
So
wait for the
true.
Mike prequel.
Yeah, starring
your
Timothy
call.
Chalamet.
Oh god,
But
who
let's
plays
talk about
Matthew? Or I mean Matt, his son.
What's it called?
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Buddy. Buddy is his son.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh,
they play
shit.
similar roles in this episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also we got a cameo from the best car in all Breaking Bad, Walt's like Aztec car, that shitty car.
Mhm. Oh yeah, the Aztec.
Was that parked in the handicap spot?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of Walt Jr.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I just remembered.
Yeah.
But Walt Jr. wouldn't have been driving it.
No,
Yeah.
but he takes him to school. But no, I was actually thinking that. I was like, can you park in a handicap spot if you have cancer?
Hmm.
I'm bold, guys. I need to park in the handicap spot.
But I guess we should, mention that the teaser. What do you guys think of the teaser?
No, well, first off, I just want to say the ending for this episode
Mhm.
was so abrupt. I was so pissed off in a good
Yeah,
way.
same. Yeah.
kinda.
Yeah, I was
I
screaming
was
like,
checking occasionally on AMC Plus like how much of the episode was left,
Mhm.
and I checked it like when that scene of him getting out of the car started. It was, it's a couple minutes, so we'll see what happens, and then it just ends. I
Mhm.
was like, damn.
Dude, honestly, just gave me chills when he just broke through the glass door. Like
Yeah.
just that one act of just like breaking shit, and then it just ends like that.
Yeah, they got
Have
me
we ever
so
seen
hooked
Jimmy
in.
like do like that kind of shit?
Wait, hear me out. Hear me
No.
out. Breaking Bad.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Breaking glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they really got me hooked in, and they just ended the episode like that.
Do you think
was
we're gonna
waiting
get
for more.
about the same amount of Breaking Bad stuff next episode, or
Probably. I'm gonna say a little less.
I
Yeah,
think we might
probably
just skip the
less.
Walt scene and the Jesse scene, and
Yeah,
That's it.
probably.
An interesting twist would be if we got, I don't know, like a Chuck thing, but probably they're not gonna do that.
At this point, I don't.
I'm
think
trying to
they're
find a
gonna-
justification.
It'd
I
be a 10
really
out of 10
am.
episode if we got Chuck.
I'm
Finale
really
or
trying to
bust.
find a good reason why they'd put Chuck.
cold
Because
open
Chuck
of a
is red.
finale.
Yeah, I
What
think
would
if,
even be
if,
the cold open? I have no idea.
if they're gonna have Chuck, it'll be in the finale, definitely.
Yeah, probably.
Well, the Felina cold open was kind of just a random scene, so it doesn't have to be some
It wasn't a
amazing thing.
random scene.
It was just him getting in the car.
Yeah,
It was still intense.
Yeah, but it wasn't like some earth-shattering thing like a Chuck McGill coming back to life.
Jimmy's gonna be in the Omaha car, getting ready to go to Albuquerque.
But yeah, do we think this teaser is fuckery, or you think?
I mean, it has to be, right?
I mean, the police are definitely going to that house. The question is Gene still going to be there when we get there?
It could be a red herring. Maybe the police is going there to ask questions that relate to like a scam pulled off. But,
Mhm.
but like maybe they don't
Personally,
realize.
I don't see Gene getting arrested now.
I don't see it
Unless
either.
the entire last 2 episodes are about his like trial or whatever, which would be fucking awesome. But I just don't see it happening at this point. It doesn't seem like the trajectory they're aiming for.
Yeah, we're getting more meat until he gets arrested.
Yeah,
Like more
Getting more
content.
what?
Ooh.
Meat.
we've already gotten plenty of Bubba and Coke meat this season.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That Caesar was kind of fucking. It gave me chills the first time I watched it.
Just sirens, right? There was no dialogue.
Yeah, no dialogue at all.
And they didn't even say there are only 2 episodes left of Better Call Saul. They didn't even say that.
It's honestly kind of
I missed
surreal.
that.
We're already at the penultimate episode.
Yeah.
Did they
Like,
play
just,
that-
just a few days ago, we were talking about Funny Howard and a car shenanigans.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I mean,
Did
you
they
weren't.
play? Did they play that stupid little jingle again? I forgot if they
No,
did
it was
or
like
not.
the same credits music as last episode.
Oh, nice.
I thought they
Yeah.
were going to play the Breaking Bad credits music.
God, I can't believe you wanted the Breaking Bad intro.
I did not want it. I just thought it was possible.
I
Yeah,
don't
it would've
think it
been
was
cool.
ever
I
possible.
thought they would just do like a green font for this episode, or like a green like background or something, like some
Mhm.
way of being like Breaking Bad. But I guess it makes sense not to do it because it's not like that crazy important, the Breaking Bad stuff.
They were going to use
HN
that.
people.
I mean, it still is, but not like that crazy.
You would have been soy facing Rez. Don't lie.
I wouldn't have.
Everybody
been.
would like, come on,
No.
Except for Ethan.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, when we first saw Jeff in season 4, he's like staring at the mirror, like all menacingly to Gene. And then in this episode, he's doing the same thing, but he's like scared. Did you guys
Yeah,
notice
yeah.
that?
Oh
I
yeah,
thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's pretty
Can't,
unsure
can't
about
imagine
the
Don
whole thing.
Harvey doing that.
Oh my
Actually, yeah,
gosh.
I can imagine that. Yeah.
No, but we still stand nervous. New Jeff here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. I hope New
Go.
Jeff has a happy ending. I hope he drives off
God,
into
Cooper's
sunset
past the
like,
phase.
like Jesse.
No, I hope he gets arrested.
Yeah, I think they're all gonna get arrested.
I hope
Even
Barry
I-
dies.
I just hope Buddy doesn't get arrested. So
Wait,
the
what,
cops
HN?
Buddy's gonna ride off into the sunset on his dog.
I just no, because if they arrest him, they're gonna put his dog into the pound. So I just hope he gets off scot free.
Oh yeah, I hope. Yeah, Buddy needs to get off.
well,
scot
Buddy
free.
made a good decision at the end of end of this episode, so he'll be fine.
Yeah, let's go.
Imagine if he ends up being
He
the
got off.
snitch.
He got off. the
No,
back
I
of
don't
the
think
road.
so. Because like, if he was the snitch, then he'd also go to jail.
Oh yeah, true. He'd be incriminated.
Also, I
Now,
saw a lot
I
of
would-
people on.
Oh.
I saw a lot of people on Reddit say that Gene in the next episode he's gonna kill somebody, and they think he's gonna kill Marion.
No, well, I kind of think he's gonna get into a bit of a violent interaction with the cancer patient. Maybe. I mean,
Mhm.
Wait,
yeah,
who said
no,
they were
I
gonna
think-
kill Marion?
I don't think he's
uh,
gonna kill Mariana. That'd be kind of
That's
really
so
out of
stupid.
character.
I think
Yeah,
there
that'd be
could be
random.
room for like some kind of scene where Saul Goodman like he finally actually murdered someone because he's never murdered someone directly.
Yeah, and
That could
that's
be, like, a
probably
big
the
moment.
that might be the line that makes him the line that he crosses that makes him turn himself in. I guess maybe later down. Yeah.
When he murders Kim.
I mean, he could still do really bad things. It doesn't have to be murder, by the way. Like it could
I'm
still
just
be
saying,
just
that's
a
like-
really horrible thing.
That's like a card they could pull.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know.
since he's going the Breaking Bad road, just like Walter and Jesse did, and they all
Murder
Yeah.
equals
killing
Breaking
somebody.
Bad, according to this man.
He's gonna
Yeah.
murder Kim's new husband.
Mike has murdered
Yeah.
people too. Gus has murdered people. Nacho's murdered people. This isn't.
Yeah, but I'm
like-
saying Saul has never murdered.
I'm
someone,
responding
so-
to Cooper. I'm responding to Cooper.
Okay.
This is what he said.
Okay. Did I ask?
You asked me, so I'm responding to you.
Okay, I would like to talk about. I think at least Rez or Dan has seen this, but I saw a theory on Reddit for how the show will end, and it's very intriguing. So you know how this episode they have these parallels with the Breaking Bad stuff, like what's Gene's doing parallels what he did in the past in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
So the way this show will end is the last scene will be some Breaking Bad scene of Saul doing something, and we'll be left to interpret how that will affect Gene in the Gene timeline, but we won't know for sure.
That would be cool.
Oh yeah, I saw that on Reddit.
I really want them to do something like completely out of left field. Like I don't want the ending to just be like he goes to jail, but like there is nothing else to it. Like I want there to be other stuff to think about.
I think
the end.
like a somewhat ambiguous ending is like definitely gonna happen, although I don't think I would honestly like that entirely.
Yeah, Sopranos ending.
Mhm.
Okay, I mean you can have ambiguous stuff without going the full way. Like with Felina, like people argued like did Walt become good or did he stay bad? Like there was still some ambiguous stuff, even though every plot thread
Bad,
was
he's
closed.
rotting in hell.
Mhm.
So
No,
I
but,
don't
like,
know.
well, surely the ambiguity from the Felina was did Jesse actually get away or not?
Yeah, that was probably most of the
And then
ambiguity.
No.
they were too pussy to leave it like that, so they had to make a whole fucking movie.
I mean,
I
the
mean,
movie was good
the big-
though.
I know
Yeah,
it
I mean,
was.
it's just more so like the intentions, the full intentions of Walt, because at the time people didn't really like make out like what was his real intentions in the end. But
Imagine we get like a fucking Part 18 level ending.
what year is this?
A what ending? A what? What are we talking about?
Twin Peaks Return Part 18 level of ending.
Oh,
So is Gene gonna go back to the past and like save Chuck from
From burning
from
himself?
burning himself, and then he meets an
No, he's-
alternate Chuck.
He's gonna
and
go
then
in the
they don't
past
recognize-
and stop himself from doing the Chicago sunroof.
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh,
I'm praying for that Chicago sunroof flashback.
that'd be funny. Oh yeah, they never showed that.
Well, they don't really need to, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, why would they show him?
I'm
shitting
saying
through a
throughout the
car?
entire show. I'm saying throughout the
60
entire show, they never showed it.
60-year-old Bob Odenkirk shooting through or something.
Yeah.
I kind of
Like,
wish
I
they
can-
showed it
I
in the
can-
early seasons.
I can picture how artistically they'd film it though. It'd be like
Yeah.
out of focus. It would be like focused on like the sunroof and like filmed inside the car looking up, and then like a turd would like slowly fall through it gracefully
Real.
in
You
slow
know.
mo.
I'd give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. They should have named the last episode Sunroof.
Low key. I mean, what was his first scam that we remembered him doing?
Wait, yo, I'm sorry to interrupt, but there's apparently a leaked. Dan, did you see this in SW Star? There's a
What that dude
leaked
sent?
teaser for the finale.
Yeah, Avi posted it in HN server as well.
Whoa, wait, I gotta.
He's an actual clown. It doesn't even
Wait.
look real.
I'm gonna watch it low key while you guys keep talking.
Is this
Just-
supposed to
Alright.
be Jimmy's
Just-
car?
Just tell me when we're doing predictions for the next episode.
We literally
looks
are
real to
right
me.
now.
Yeah, so from this teaser, it looks like that's Jimmy's old car. So
Is it
we
the
might be
same?
visiting ABQ if this is real.
Yo, Zombie Lalo?
I
Oh,
think that
shit.
footage. It doesn't really look like footage that'll be used in an actual episode.
Yeah, I mean, it looks a little bit skeptical, but
Hmm. Yeah, there's this one image floating around about Andrew Lincoln showing up in the next 2 episodes.
what are you talking about? What?
Look at the Better Call Saul.
He's talking about the star of The Walking Dead. He's gonna show up in here.
Hmm.
Don't people actually think that Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead are in the same timeline?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It's like the most upvoted comment on my Theory
People-
Iceberg video.
People used to think that back then. Yeah, you
I-
should have
people
mentioned
still
that in
do
your
think
video.
I forgot about it.
Wait, so are we doing predictions for?
I thought we
kind of
were.
were, but yeah, like what's
Yeah.
going on in the next episode? Is Kim in
Probably,
the next episode.
yeah, Kim. There's going to be some Kim focus at the very least. B plot, most likely.
I don't think we're gonna see Kim anymore until. Well, I mean, we are gonna see Kim, but not until like the finale.
You think?
So why is it called Waterworks then?
I mean, I don't know.
No,
Somebody's
what's
gonna
going to
cry.
happen is Gene will stub his toe and say, "Oh, here comes the waterworks," because it really hurts, and he's going to cry.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think we don't see Kim next episode, but we just hear the phone call.
Y'all are tripping, bro.
I think we see her phone call from her perspective. That's what I think.
Mhm.
If it's the cold open, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think it's a possibility.
maybe Gene makes the drive to Florida next episode, trying to outrun the cops from whatever happens at the cancer patient's house.
Yeah, like I obviously none of us did anyone here watch Breaking Bad when it came out?
No,
I
not
saw
me.
like season 5B when it came out. That's about it.
Like we're 2 episodes away from the end. Like
Mhm.
and we have literally no idea where it could go at this point. Basically, like was it
Mhm.
like that for Breaking Bad? Do you reckon? Like
Oh, definitely. Like
after
especially like
After Ozymandias,
especially after Ozymandias.
I guess it could have gone anywhere because that episode just ended with Walt getting off with a vacuum thing.
Literally ends off in like the worst place for everybody. So yeah, and this one like it's not like quite like that for me. Like the only episode that's kind of comparable was 609 because after 609 anything was in the table at that point.
Mhm.
Yeah, even though it seems so obvious what was going to happen next, but obviously not.
Yeah, everybody thought we were gonna get the Breaking Bad episode, but we
Thank
got
God.
Gene and everybody
Thank
got pissed.
fucking God that never happened.
For fucking, I'm not gonna lie, they kind of overhyped like the Breaking Bad like connection for this season. They're like, oh my god,
Yeah.
it's like it's never been more connected, and like they're right, but like it turns out it's just gonna be like a couple scenes.
Yeah, that's kind of why when I was watching it for the first time, the cameos didn't really make me soy jack super hard. It was mostly like kind of a check mark thing for me. Like it was kind of
I think
upon
they really
a-
fucked up by announcing Walt and Jesse beforehand.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I mean,
Genuinely.
on
'Cause
second watch, I see a lot more of the parallels and the purposes that it serves. But on first watch, I kind of wasn't really interested in the cameos.
To be honest, I wasn't even that crazy shocked when they came in because like literally before we already knew that they were going to be in the scene.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they showed the bullets and everything. So when they came in, I don't know. I didn't even had a crazy reaction, but I still
I don't think that was. I don't
just
think
seeing
it was
them
meant to
talk.
be like a Chewie way home like moment kind of thing. It was just like
Yeah, it's not
here's the
like
scene where they're in it.
it's not like the Avengers come out of the portal type shit. It's just like they just
Walt and Jesse
literally.
portal in.
It's just like there's no pause for anything. It's just they just come through.
Well, good. We don't need fucking Jesse to come in and then like wait for applause.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm agreeing with you.
I know.
I don't think you are, bro.
Yeah, for real.
Drama.
I think
Oh.
Waterworks is a very cool title.
Yeah, much better than Sol Gone.
No, it's not,
I'm still iffy on Soul Gone, honestly.
bruh. No way.
It just sounds kind of stupid, but that's
Felina,
okay.
Yeah.
Felina is the better title, but
Selena
Solgan-
is the best title for a finale.
Should have been called Oakley
Yeah.
Gone.
They should have used that
They're
French
so
one that I
lucky.
posted last
they're,
time.
they're legitimately so
Tiramisu.
lucky that they had
Yeah.
the Felina title. They're so lucky for that.
I mean, titling the last episode of a TV show is like an art form in and of itself.
True.
Yeah,
I could have
like,
gone with some lame shit like in game.
like the Iron Throne.
Oh, the
The
Iron
Iron
Throne.
Yeah.
I know that one
No,
was
that's a
pretty
fun,
epic.
that's a good title.
No,
Yeah,
it's
Game of Thrones
not.
episode.
I mean, it's mediocre. It's pretty mediocre.
I mean, it doesn't really fit the episode entirely, but
The last
Iron
Stranger
Throne just
Things,
gets burned down.
the last Stranger Things episode should just be called like Stranger Things, but like they type it backwards.
Everyone's saying the finale of Stranger Things will be called the final campaign, which sounds horrendous.
because of
Oh, like the
D&D.
dungeons and
Yeah,
So ugly.
I'll
That'd be
probably just
funny.
call it the end.
Honestly, the boys had some pretty good episode titles.
Mhm.
Did
But,
it?
Really, I don't even
critically
remember.
acclaimed
What was-
titled Herogasm.
No, not Herogasm. I hate-
Herogasm was just ripped from the comics, though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just the title. I mean, whatever. Getting a little off topic.
They
but,
hyped the hell out of that episode.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was
the
worth the
Orpheus
hype,
scene,
just
yeah.
literally for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Which I think they intended.
yeah.
Can we stop talking about mid? Let's talk about Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
alright.
Hey.
So, what are we
Which
talking
everybody
about
thinks
now?
is
Final
pretty mid
rating?
at the moment.
I mean, do we have any more like predictions for what's going on next episode?
Gene is
Um,
gonna kill somebody.
Yeah, I think
honestly
Gene
think-
might
No.
get into a bit of
I mean,
violent interaction.
I think next episode probably will be the same rated as this. Maybe like
What
it'll
is this
probably be
rated?
the same level. This is like a 9.12.
like a
I don't know.
9.5, I thought.
No, it was like 9.2 last or
I don't think the finale will be the critically acclaimed 9.9 darling. We're all.
yeah,
Just
it'll
maybe
probably
like
be
that.
like 9.4 or 5.
It'll be
maybe.
very divisive.
Yeah.
Mostly because there's no shooty shoot scene.
No, not because
action.
of that. Just because of like it'll be not what people expected or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel
Maybe.
like Gene turning himself in, even though I predicted that for these last couple episodes, I feel like I don't know, I feel like it'd be something a little bit too predictable, which isn't too terrible or anything. Like being predictable
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's bad, but I feel like they have
It's just
something that
what's the
they're
substance at that point? Like what
yeah,
they're to
I feel like
chew
they have
You
on.
a
think?
like something to pull out real quick.
You
Yeah,
think they might
this is
do
why.
like? Oh,
Go ahead.
you think they might do like Gene drives all the way to Florida, rocks up at Kim's house. He looks through a window and sees her having a happy life with her family, and then so he's just sad, so he just turns himself in.
That's
Oh
such
my
a creepy
gosh.
thing, though.
It'd be
He
so
like looks through a
creepy.
window and she's living a happy life with Ken Wins
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Oh
my
no!
gosh. I will
or with
say,
Kubi.
like, I did had this theory at one point that like if he did turn himself in, I'd want him to do like a Saul Goodman type scam where it's essentially just instead of just actually scamming somebody for their disadvantage, but instead just to get himself incriminated or something. And maybe it involves Kim in some way, but she's not like a part of it. Like she doesn't know that she's a part of that scam.
Wouldn't a good way for him to be incriminated would just be to him to like show up and say, "Hey guys, I'm Saul Goodman."
True. But it's also because that would probably be a Saul thing to do. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
have
know.
no idea. I've no concrete predictions for next episode other than that either Walt or Jesse will be in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But even that, I'm not sure.
Well-
They might save that for finale.
These
Oh yeah,
last
Gus.
few,
Gus didn't even. Did Gus get name dropped?
Oh yeah, I think
They
They
said
hinted.
the man who should not be named.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
These last few episodes have been pretty, I guess, unpredictable, in my opinion. Besides the cameos, obviously, but even the cameos, like them remaking the thing from the desert, the little scene from the desert, that was still kind of a surprise to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I was really
Okay.
mad I didn't get to watch it live.
Yeah,
It's all right. VOD is better.
as long as you call off work for the finale.
It's alright. I probably won't work for another like month anyway. Anyway,
All right. Yeah.
final rating / whatever. Dan, out of 10, out of whatever.
Once again, my favorite episode of 6B and probably the best since 607.
Damn. Okay. Rez.
First time I watched it was like a 9, but I think it's more of like I guess a 10. It's pretty arbitrary. I love the episode, but I still think 609 is better.
Yep. Cooper.
10 out of 10.
All right.
I love the.
Best of this season or whatever.
No, the best of the season is still plan and execution.
Yeah. I'd say it's like a 9 out of 10. I guess.
Mhm.
I originally had Nippy at a 9, but I lowered it to an 8 because I guess I'm a hater. But like,
Mm-hmm.
there's like several episodes from this season that I like more. But out of just like 6B, I would say Fun and Games is better, and also Point and Shoot.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty awesome that anyone can name most of these episodes as their favorite, and it's valid.
Yeah, as long as someone
607.
doesn't say Black and Blue or Axe and Grind, like they're valid.
Someone doesn't
Yeah.
No,
say
Axe and Grind is. I think. Wait, is episode 6 Axe and Grind?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that one's fair.
as long as they don't say Rock and Hard Place.
No, I'd even
Are
say
you
Black and Blue's
serious?
valid because it has that boxing match.
Wait, Atrez, why'd you? Come on, buddy.
Sorry, I'm a hater.
When I rewatch, I feel like my least favorite episode from this season is probably like episode 2.
Maybe I
The one
don't
I
with the
know.
can't
Kettlemans?
remember anything that happens from that episode other than that like
the nacho
nacho
shootout.
shootout, which was just stupid.
It was not stupid. Come
It was
on.
kind of goofy.
I thought it was
but-
stupid.
No, it wasn't. It was
Weren't the
intense.
Kettlemans in that episode?
Oh yeah, the Kettlemans.
It was
Oh,
the
wait, never mind, that's a
Kettlemans.
good episode.
The nacho shootout was peak. Y'all tripping.
True. Rip Nacho.
The
He's
goat.
coming back, bro. He's coming back.
Yeah.
Coming
He's on
back
that
for
dream
the
team.
Emmy nomination.
No, he's not.
Yeah. Jesse Shola said, "Who's Ignacio?" Am I right, folks?
Yeah. Jesse said, I used to hang out with this guy called Ignacio.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, didn't Mike mention him to Jesse, or was that just people making up theories?
Making up theories. If
I
you're
think-
talking about when he says you're not the guy and the guy was Nacho,
Yeah, I'm talking about that.
the guy was anyone.
Probably Maddie.
Nah.
No, it wasn't Maddie.
He's not in the game, bro. He's not
Yeah,
in
it
the
wasn't
game.
Maddie.
The guy was Price.
Mhm.
Oh.
You are not the guy.
All right, I'm gonna do the outro now. We clearly have nothing more to say.
Yeah, we stretched
I'm
out pretty
gonna
long,
definitely
though.
chopping a lot out of this one, though. I feel like it'll be around 30 minutes.
Mhm.
Maybe
Okay.
40.
So that's all we have to say about season 6, episode 11 of Better Call Saul: Breaking Bad. We'll be back next week to discuss the penultimate episode, Waterworks. Thanks for watching/listening.